What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Sean. How we all doing? Today we're going to be doing my first album ranking of hopefully many. Today we're going to be talking about Avenged Sevenfold, a band that I do personally enjoy, a band that I've listened to pretty much my entire life of listening to this genre of music, as this was the band that got me in the metalcore, and just that this genre of music in general. So I thought it would be fitting if they were the first band that I did this with. So welcome back. This is one of the non-scripted videos we're going to have. Again, these are going to be the common ones. We just kind of sit around, talk about music, all the such. Just kind of talk around about it. So these videos, while not scripted, will have somewhat of a structure to them. Obviously, I'm going to go from least favorite to my most favorite album from that band, but also I'm going to talk about what my favorite song is on each album, because I do have one. I there is at least one song on every album I ever listened to that I do enjoy. The issue is there are some albums I don't enjoy. But obviously, some of these rankings, I could enjoy all the albums. Another album ranking I've finished but not recorded is my album ranking of Ghost. I don't think I have a album by them that I hate. So yeah, when we go through these rankings, where they rank is more how much I like them more than I hate this more than the other. Because in reality, except for one album today that we'll get into in just a minute, none of these albums I hate. Some of them are just some of them I just skip less. I think that's the best way to put it. You know? So let's just kind of get into it. Let's go start talking about it. And let's get started with number 8. This is my least favorite album, and this is one I'm going to be complaining about a lot. Avenged Sevenfold's Hail to the King. This album I hate. It is such a Metallica copy album that I wish it never existed. I wish we could start at 7 and go down. I wish we never had this 8th one, because I don't like this album. Do I own it on vinyl? Yes, I own almost every Avenged Sevenfold album on vinyl. I just need Sounding the Science, 7th Trumpet, The Stage, and City of Evil. Then I have them all. But I don't like this one. I do not like this album. I think it was very copycat of Metallica. I don't think it's good. I think the self-titled song, the album title, like the album song, "Hail to the King," the song is absolutely just simplistic, not good, formulaic. Same with Shepherd of Fire. I like these are some of the ones that are like the most popular on the album, which if I'm too lazy to look it up now. They're just songs I don't truly like. I don't know. I think when I think of Hail to the King, I'm thinking, holy shit, this just sounds like they let Lars Ulrich into the studio, because it's just 4 on the floor like the entire time. Like just 4 on the floor. That's all it is, that song. Maybe a little double kick, a little like, Shepherd of Fire, that one, it's better, but in the end, it's still just Metallica. So, that's just kind of my views on the Avenged Sevenfold Hail to the King album. Like that, it's just not a good album. If I had to choose a favorite song, Acid Rain, maybe. Acid Rain is nice, it's slow, it's dramatic. I like it. It's better than anything else that was on that album, in my opinion. It's not a good album, and I will die on the hill that it's not that good of an album. And one of the main reasons is because it's just straight up copying Metallica, and I don't like Metallica. That might be a video for another day. But I'm not the biggest fan of Metallica at all. I think they're overplayed garbage. So when you start copying the overplayed garbage, I think you're not gonna be sounding good to me. Anyways, we're gonna get on to number 7 now. Number 7 is an album that I do enjoy. I do find some things just kind of basic about it, but overall, it is very experimental um in sound for them. Like, because Hail to the King's not experimental; it's basic sound. This one is experimental to them. Um, there's another album that's pretty experimental to them on this list as well, because I gotta do all of them. But like, they have two albums, which also happen to be their two most recent, where they are getting experimental with their sound a little bit, and I like it. I just think one album being experimental is better than the other. So here at 7, we have The Stage. I think The Stage is a decent album. I most of the songs I do listen to, but I am more likely to skip these songs than other songs from this band, from Avenged. I'm going to be completely honest. I like it. I think it sounds good. It just doesn't captivate me the same way that a lot of these other albums do. Like, I don't know my best way to explain it, but The Stage just feels they're trying new things. This is when they added Brooks Wackerman on the drums, who's a phenomenal drummer, and I think the drumming on this is just some of the best drumming since Jimmy. Yeah, I mean the Rev. I think I got his name right, but I'm fucking up names. Like, I think it's their best drummer since the Rev, Brooks Wackerman, and he does a phenomenal job on the stage. One of my favorite song in this album has to be "Sunny Disposition." I just really like that song. It's one that if it comes up, I'm not skipping it. I don't say the same for the rest of the song. For this album, I have to be in a mood. I'm gonna be completely honest. I have to be in a specific mood to like kind of enjoy this album, and that just seems to be how it is with a lot of Avenged albums sometimes. Like that are here before number 4. Like 7, 6, and 5 are all albums I listen to and like, but I have to be in a specific mood to enjoy. And The Stage is like the epitome of that right now, because number 6 and number 5, which we'll get into, those are two albums that I'm less likely to skip than some songs on The Stage. But that's something we'll get into when we get to 6 and 5 here. Let's continue on The Stage. I think they did a really good job at this album. I think it's an amazing album to come to, because when you go from Hail to the King, because these came out, it was Hail to the King, then The Stage, I believe. Yeah. Like, when they released Hail to the King, it was very simplistic and formulaic. And when they released The Stage, it is very experimental, in my opinion. And I like when a band isn't trying to be another band. I like when they're trying to do their own thing. And Hail to the King just felt very simplistic. While The Stage here, it doesn't feel as. That's why it's kind of ranked higher here. But at the same time, I just really have to be in such a specific mood to listen to this album. Like, I need to be in the right mindset to want to listen to the album. I guess that's my best way to explain The Stage right now. So yeah. So we're going to move on here. We're going to go to number 6. Number 6 is Avenged Sevenfold's debut album. It is a hardcore album, because they were hardcore before they made their second album. But they were a hardcore band at one point. So their debut album, Sounding the Seventh Trumpet. This one, I don't know if I truly can pick a favorite song to, because I don't listen to it often at all. I've listened to it. I don't listen to it often. Or they'll look at some of these names. I have it up on Spotify, because it's something I do listen to. Sometimes I will listen to The Art of Subconscious Illusion. That's kind of the only one. I don't know. It's in my playlist. It's one I do tend to skip, but I do enjoy it when I do. I do enjoy it more than I would the stage. That's why it kind of ranks higher here. I mean, I think it's a very good debut album. It really sets a tone for what your band is probably going to be, like in its early stages of what type of music you want to play, all that fun little stuff. And I like sounding the seventh trumpet. I really want to get it on vinyl because it's one of those albums that when I do listen to, like when I listen to songs on it, I don't really. I like to listen to it as the full album. I don't like to listen to it during my normal listening. Like I like listening to it as one full album that I kind of just sit and listen to. So I really do want to get this one on vinyl. It is one of the 3 I don't have. Like it's one of the 3 albums I do not have on vinyl. And I think it's a very good album. It's just not my favorite out of all the stuff that Avenged has made. And I don't know how to really talk about this album because I think it is just it's just hardcore. And when you've listened to one hardcore song, you've kind of listened to them all, in my opinion. Like, I went to a concert, a Baroness concert, and a hardcore band named Soul Glow was there. And same with them. It was, oh, yeah, no, I've heard this before because it's all the same stuff. So the same drums, guitars, about all the same. The thing with hardcore, I think the reason hardcore is popular is hardcore dancing in the pit. That it's a violent genre. Like, and as I said, 7, 6, and 5 are all albums of which I need to be in a specific mood for. And I guess when it comes to sounding some trumpet, I gotta be in like a violent mood. When I'm feeling extra violent that day. I think that's just how it is. Just how I kind of view the album. It's just the same stuff I always hear when I'm listening to hardcore. It's really nothing different from any other hardcore I've ever listened to. It's just how it is. Anyways, that means we're going to move on to number 5. Life is But a Dream. This album, I think on any Avenged Sevenfolds ranking like this, would be 7. I think they'd say Hail to the King is worse, though some might say Hail to the King's better and put this one at 8 there. But I love this album. Unpopular opinion. I really love this album. I think people were, when Avenged was starting to hype up new music, people were all ready to just hear Avenged again. Like, they wanted to hear the classic Avenged Sevenfold sound, and then the singles dropped, and then people did not like them. I did. And then the album came out, and I think what happened was people wanted to go into this album expecting Avenged. In reality, what we got was a band trying to experiment with their sound, because they've been a band for a while. I think Sounding the Seventh Trumpet came out, 2001? 2002. So, like, this is a band that's existed for over 20 years. And when you do the same, you don't want to do the same sound for 20 years. So the last 3 albums have not been the same sound. Well, yes, I do shit on Hail to the King because they weren't experimenting. They were just doing what's worked for others, and it just sounded different to what Avenged normally is. The Stage and Life is But a Dream are 2 albums that are somewhat different to what they normally sound like. And Life is But a Dream is really different. I do believe I have Spotify connected, so I'm just gonna play little bits of these songs to kind of show you what I mean. So, first, I think the most, like, Avenged sounding one is Mattel. So we're not gonna go there, but Nobody, you kind of start with, like, and then you do that, and then you go in a little bit. His vocals are different. These guitars are weird. And then I go back a little bit to get to the... Like, you hear, like, those hi-hats there? Like, this just isn't what Avenged sounds like to some people. And I get that if you don't like that. But, okay, let's go... Ordinary. And this is, like, really where it just goes off the fucking walls. It's like a Daft Punk-like thing that's going on. Like, this just isn't Avenged to people. So, let's skip it a little bit. Like, and he does this auto-tune on his voice. And that's just how it is. And I get that it's different to people. We Love You is like coming back to a little hardcore roots a little bit like this. Just without the screaming. And then I know they're screaming eventually. I don't know where. Like, he finally does screaming again, which is good to hear. I don't know where exactly in the pinpoint of the song is, but like it's different. This is all different. This isn't normal to people. And then it ends with a piano ballad. It ends with a piano ballad. No instruments, no lyrics, just piano. And this is 4 minutes of that. It's just piano. Yeah, it's different. And that's one of the reasons I really do like this album. It's different. Now, my top 4 here, I don't think it's close to. I think the top 4, like, in my opinion, if I were to, like, really rank these, 8 through 5 are here. Well, 4 through 1 are always here. Because I do think there was, like, this is kind of my ranking. You know, like, this is the gap between the sound, in my opinion, of these songs. And it's just how I'm going to rank them, of course, right? But this is an album that, if I implore you, sit down in a dark room, do nothing but sit for an hour and listen. Close your eyes, relax, listen to this album in its totality. Find, how long is this? 53 minutes. Take an hour to yourself. Sit in your room, turn off the lights, maybe some mood lighting. Just sit back and relax and listen. Because while I do not think there's a song, there's some stuff on this album that I don't think I'd listen to on its own. This album, when you listen to it in its complete totality at once in one session, you're going to love the things. In my opinion, you are going to love how this album is made. They do a lot of things with their sound, experiment with a lot of it. I think a lot of audiophiles might like some things in it. When you get into some parts, they won't. But I think there are some things audiophiles would like in it. I think as an album, it is amazing. If I were to rank the songs compared to Avenged Sevenfold's other songs, they'd be closer to the bottom. Or to rank every song, right? But I think this as an album is better than any of their modern albums that they've done. And it's an unpopular opinion, but it's just my opinion. I really do like it. I own it. I bought it when it came out. I went to the record store and I bought it the day that it released and went to record stores. I bought it the day it came out. I sat down in a room. I put it on, put the needle on the disc, and I listened to it. And my view on the album changed after I kind of just sat with it and just listened to that. Nothing but the album. Because I was under the opinion that this is dog shit. I don't fucking like this. This is terrible. But no, my opinions have changed as time has gone on. It's released back in June. It's almost 20. It's almost January. This released all the way back in June. So time and just taking a minute, taking an hour, not a minute, taking an hour to just sit back and listen to this album really has changed how I view the album. And I think it's number 5. I don't think it's as good as these top 4 here, but I think it's better than the ones behind it, and I do enjoy it. Let's move on. My number 4 is the first album that Avenged did without the Rev. Well, recorded without the Rev. It was written before the Rev passed. Nightmare. This is one of my this is a favorite album of mine. The other 3 there, I still like more, but this is an album that I do like listen to regularly. I mean, all 4 of these I listen to regularly, but this one specifically I will, because I really love this album. There are just some things they do on it, and I gotta pull up the Spotify. I gotta pull up the album on Spotify again. I can just kind of really get into it a little bit. No, I don't want the song. Okay, give me the album. I do think there are some songs in here I could skip. Danger Line, sometimes I do. God Hates Us, I'll every once in a while skip. But one of my favorite, my favorite, the ending song here. Oh, I never said a favorite. My favorite song on Life Is But a Dream is Cosmic. Or is it called Cosmic? Hold on. Yeah, Cosmic. Yeah, that one's my favorite on Life Is But a Dream. Okay, back to Nightmare. My favorite song on this album, it's Save Me. This is a song I could just. This is another album that I do really recommend. You just take the time, like it's an hour and 6 minutes. You just take the time, sit down, play it. Like through its entirety. Just play it. I do own this one on vinyl as well. I have this really cool, it's like a sky blue vinyl or something. Like a transparent sky blue. It's a really cool. I really like it. But God, there are just some songs on here that Tonight the World Dies is really good. It has like the least amount of plays. I recommend it. I love it. God Hates Us is pretty good. Danger Line is the one I think I'd like the least on the album, but it's still a really good song. And this is the second album I've ever listened to from Avenged. And it was an album that I spent forever to get the vinyl of. Every time I entered a record store, I was hoping it was there. And it was finally there. Like, it was a bitch to find for me. Because I needed this one. Because this one does mean a lot to me as well. Like, this is an album I listen to a lot. Fiction is one of my is just the best song on it, other than Save Me. Fiction and Save Me, the final 2 are the best. Nightmare, formulaic. I think it's kind of basic. That like the actual like the opening song on there. But everything past it is just so good. And Nightmare itself is really good, like the song. It's a really good song. But yeah. This is an album, again, it's one of those albums I really recommend you kind of just sit and listen to and do nothing else but just pay attention to it and listen to it. And that's something about some of Avenged albums I really do gotta say about them. Really just sit down and listen to them in like full. Because it's worth it. It's worth to listen to all of these songs in full. Like the album in its full entirety. And Nightmare is one of those albums. And I listen to this one regularly. It's one of my normal ones. When I go through my vinyl collection and I'm ready to listen to some vinyl to end my day sometimes, this is the first one that I always see. It's not always the first one I play, but it's one I will grab and put ready to play if I have the time. because it's just a really good fucking album. Yeah. Anyways, let's move on. Number 3. We're now in the top 3. My number 3 song. My third place album here is their self-titled album. This is another one that, no, it wasn't a bitch to find. It was actually the first when I really started trying to get all of their stuff. Why am I looking? Oh my god, I can't do fucking shit. Okay. This is like straight up was one of the first I grabbed when trying to make the full collection. It was like one of the first ever Avenged albums I've had. And it's so good. Like I think it was the second ever. I think Hail to the King was my first album I got. This one was my second ever vinyl record I got from Avenged Sevenfold. And oh my god, this one, when we get to these albums, I'm going to be talking about the actual songs in the album a little bit. Critical Acclaim is one of the best opening tracks to an album I've listened to. The Avenged Sevenfold tries to avoid any political stuff in general, right? Like they try and stay away from it, but Critical Acclaim, they kind of went into it a little bit. And just, it's so phenomenal. This opening on the drums is great. So if we skip a little bit. How far is it? Like if I were to skip a little bit more. Those kicks and then the like, it's so good. It's one of my favorite drum openings from Avenged. Like, just great kicks, little rhythm with the china and the snare, and then the little bit of the single stroke rolls in the middle there. Just phenomenal drumming on that one. And this is an album with the Rev. I believe this is it was 2007. So this has been their third album. Yeah, I think it was Sounding the Seventh Trumpet. Then it was Waking the Fallen. Then it was this one. This was their third album. Or was it their fourth? I guess we'll find out when we get the next two. Because the next two are on the older side a little bit as well. But this one, just amazing. And then Almost Easy being right after that one. The drums, again, are amazing. And the guitars from Sin. It's amazing. And then if we skip a little bit. This. Oh, no! Fuck, I messed up a little bit. That double ride is so good. Like. Like that double ride is really fun too. Scream. Look up the lyrics. You'll know. That one's great. Afterlife is such a good song too. Like I could just go through glazing every damn song in this album, which is going to be the same thing for the next albums too. But if I had to choose a favorite, A Little Piece of Heaven. This one's great. Like, and it has like this chorus behind it. And then this is I love the story in this song. I one of my friends who was not quite in the metal the same way I was my freshman year of high school, I did send the music video. I did tell them to watch the music video of this song. And I traumatized them. If you know the music video, you'll know what it is. I just absolutely they straight up came up to me the next day and was like, "That fucking music video traumatized me, bro." Like, it's not even that bad of a music video, but to like a 14-year-old kid, yeah, it kind of is, right? And the story behind the song is just fucked up, you know. And then my favorite part, I looked in the comment section of the music video back 4 years ago. I can't find the comment anymore. It's been so long since I've been able to find it because people always come back and comment years later. But I read the comment, still a better love story than Twilight, and that was just amazing. It's one of my favorite comments of all time. Just, it really is. All right. I think I talked about this enough. Let's go to the next one. At number 2, drum roll please. It's City of Evil. Number 2, City of Evil. This one I need to get into. This one I almost put at 1, but I kept it at 2. I'm gonna put it in editing. Or this song has such a great opening track with Beast and the Harlot, or as Spotify knows it as Beast and the Garlet. Future editing me. Okay, so yeah. So this was the third one. City of Evil was the third one. The self-titled was the fourth one. This is their third one. This one is when they really started experimenting with their sound. Pretty early they did experimental type things. You couldn't get more prog metal than this album. Well, they kept a lot of their like metalcore like attributes. Backcountry, the song off this one, it's so fun. Listen, this is another one of those albums that I want you to just listen to in totality because it's just so fun. Betrayed. MIA is my favorite, by the way. MIA is just so good. Trashed and Scattered, like Trashed and Scattered again. I'm feeling so cold. They're fucking with me. That one, fucking amazing song. Goes right in the Seize the Day. And Burn It Down and Blind and Change just seamlessly go into each other as well. I can't explain enough how much I love this album, and I really do. This was also my gateway album into the band and into the genre. I was learning bass at the time, and I was playing the game Rocksmith, and I was like, I'm bored. Let's do something really fast. And then I came across Backcountry, and from there on out, just fell in love with this band, and fell in love with this specific genre of music. Backcountry is the first ever Avenged song I've listened to. Backcountry is the first ever Avenged Sevenfold song I've ever listened to in my life. And it does hold a special place for me in that form because it's what brought me into this. And it's just such a good song. All these songs are great. This is an album I don't think a single one misses. There's not a single miss on this album. Every album that I've kind of gone before this, like even the one we just did, like they're self-titled, they're self-titled, Nightmare, Life, Sounding, Stage, definitely Hail. All of them, I think, have songs that miss. City of Evil does not have a song that misses, like at all. It's my personally second favorite album for a reason. Part of it is just straight up bias because it's the first ever album I listened to with the first ever song I've listened to. But yeah. Now, to round it out, speaking of albums that just don't have a song that misses, my number 1 album by Avenged Sevenfold is Waking the Fallen. This one feels a little basic bitch that chooses my favorite, but there's a reason this is a lot of people's favorites in my opinion. out in 2003. It was their second album. Waking the Fallen is just so classic, and it's an all-time metalcore great, in my opinion. When you think metalcore, this is an album you really need to think of. You think of that genre of music, and it's Unholy Confessions. It's an absolute amazing song. There's a reason it's one of their most popular. But more songs on these albums need to be listened to. There are some on here that are like sub 10 million streams. Nah, you need to play some of these songs more. Radiant Eclipse is just really fucking good in my opinion. Clairvoyant Disease. I love listening to that every time it comes on. The I Won't See You Tonight Part 1 and Part 2. Listen to both of them at once. Do it, please. Second Heartbeat, amazing song as well. Eternal Rest is my favorite on this album. I will not put that up to debate. I fucking love Eternal Rest. Just listen to all of these. There isn't a song that misses on this one either. Avenged has many albums, of which there's like one song that straight up just misses. These last two do not have a single miss. Listen to Waking the Fallen and tell me there's a bad song on here. If you can, I'm just calling you delusional. I think that's just how it's going to go. I'm just going to call you delusional, because there is not a bad song on that album. But yeah. Alright. Let's take a little bit. Let's go back through. I've talked about these albums a little bit. What I like about them, what I hate about them. Let's go through the rank again. At number 8, we have Hail to the King. At number 7, The Stage. Number 6, Sounding the Seventh Trumpet. 5, Life is But a Dream. Number 4, Nightmare. Number 3, they're self-titled. Number 2, City of Evil. And number 1, Waking the Fallen. I think that is my definitive ranking of these albums. Obviously, things can change if I ever decide to listen to them all again at once, see if I have a difference of opinion. I probably won't, though. Thank you all for watching today's video. I'm putting Life is But a Dream in the bio of this video, because you need to listen to it. If you hate it, I think you should give it another chance. And I really think you should listen to it as an album, not try to put the songs alone. The songs, when they're alone, do not do well, but if you listen to it as a full album, trust me, you're going to love it. Just trust me on that one. Alright? I'm going to put that in the bio, because I think that's the one out of here that I want you guys to listen to. Like, completely. The rest of these, just don't listen to Hail to the King, and I think you're good. Other than that, thank you all for watching. You can follow me on Twitch for gaming. I'm Buffalo Gaming 30 on Twitch. And if you want to see more videos, please hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. And I'll see all you dudes in the next one. Peace.